So this page is called The Rock Cycle, and I'm just going to read through it. The rock cycle. The rock cycle is the process by which rocks change forms from one type to another. And there are three main types of rocks: igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary rock. Each type of rock can change into another type through the following physical processes: cooling, melting, heating, compacting, which means like squishing together, cementing, weathering, and extreme pressure. Magma and sediment. So magma and sediment are substances that can also become rocks and enter the rock cycle. Magma is liquid rock that is underground. Rocks will melt when deep underground due to the high temperatures. This forms magma as the rocks become liquid. When magma appears above the ground, it's called lava. Sediments are particles from rock erosion and weathering. These sediments eventually will become sedimentary rock in the future. So sediments are little bits of rock or dirt or plants, even animals. When they die and decompose, they become little bits. So that's what sediment is, just little bits that can be like blown by the wind until they end up in a big pile. And over time, they can become rocks. Igneous rock is hardened magma that can happen below or above the ground. It can become one of the other types of rocks through the following processes. It can melt into magma. It can erode into sediment or be compacted and pressurized to become metamorphic. Metamorphic rocks are igneous or sedimentary rocks that have been heated and squeezed under extreme pressure and temperatures. It could also erode into sediment or melt into magma. And sedimentary rocks are compacted sediment. So sediment can be found or can be in the form of tiny rock materials or remains of living things. When these tiny materials are squished or compacted together, they form a weak rock known as sedimentary. And these rocks can erode back into sediment, or they could be pressurized into metamorphic rock. So what's really interesting to notice here is that rocks may not always stay the same type of rock, right? All these rocks can eventually be melted down into other types of rocks or back into magma, right? And we know that magma is what makes these igneous rocks because they are hardened magma. But all these rocks can also be eroded by weather and wind or water. So erosion is when the weather will affect the rock by taking little bits of it away. And those little bits become sediment, which can become sedimentary rock. And any igneous or sedimentary rock, if it gets squished or compacted for long enough, it changes into metamorphic rock. So that's the idea of this being a cycle. All these different rocks are they're to one type of rock. It's igneous, it's metamorphic, it's sedimentary, but they can change into the other types of rocks depending on where they are in the earth and what the weather's like there, but also over time, what kind of happens to them.